Welcome to worship today. It's a little bit different. This is a midweek sermon, so it's less of a sermon and more of what we call a homily, which should make you happy because that means it's shorter than normal. With that, though, there is one announcement. On Sunday mornings, we have an adult Sunday school class after the service. It is a lot of fun, and of course, I teach it, so I say that, but I've heard from other people it's a lot of fun and very interesting, so I hope that you will join us for that. And with that, though, we read the Gospel according to Luke. Glory to you, O Lord. At that very hour, some Pharisees came and said to him, "Get away from here, for Herod wants to kill you." And he said to them, "Go and tell that fox for me, listen, I am casting out demons, performing cures today, tomorrow, and on the third day I finish my work. Yet today, tomorrow, and the next day I must be on my way, because it is impossible for a prophet to be killed outside of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. See, your house is left to you. And I tell you, you will not see me until the time comes when you will say, 'Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord.'" The Gospel of the Lord. And praise to you, O Christ. Grace and peace to you, dearly beloved, from the source of hope. A young boy walks into a clinic. And it sounds like the start of a bad joke, but it's something a bit more serious, something of a journey, something of courage. A young boy about 12 years old walks into a clinic. And the boy hasn't been here since his father died, and he never thought he would step back in there. Not because he wouldn't get sick. No, he is sick. In fact, he's been sick. No, because his mother simply cannot afford it. He's here for treatment. Treatment for a disease he was born with, a disease that is stigmatized. He walks up to that help desk and gives his name. He is HIV positive. HIV/AIDS, a leading cause of death around the world, leading cause of death, especially there in Indonesia where the boy lives, but also here in the United States, especially among those 25 to 44 years old. A cause of death only complicated by other diseases like COVID, a cause of death that is mocked and feared and criticized, a cause of death that disappeared from the public eye. And although it is deadly, the AIDS pandemic is stigmatized. It is scorned. And people have begun questioning if COVID will be the same, disappear from the public eye, be criticized, scorned, but not go away. Something stigmatized to those around the world and here, those who have less privilege, those who live in poverty, those who lack access to health care. In the face of death and disease and this oppression, in the face of these challenges, how do we bear witness to hope and courage in an uncertain world? Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. See, Jesus sits today, tomorrow, and the next, and yet also today, tomorrow, and the next is on his way. Jesus sits with those who are stigmatized and walks towards his own death. Jesus laments, "How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing." Or as Isaiah tells us, "As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem." Or as the psalmist tells us, "The Lord will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge." See, Jesus is wandering through that nation to the great city of Jerusalem, a city lifted up by the kings of Judah, those kings of the southern kingdom. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the great city with the temple. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the great city where ceremony takes place. We wander with Jesus to Jerusalem, to those great 3 days of mourning, those great 3 days of ceremony, those great 3 days when we will be willing to know the Lord's wing, to know the child's trust, to shelter in community. When we will witness God gather the sick and the oppressed, the poor and the hungry, when we witness God work in, with, and under our hands, God is not done with us yet. And so Jesus turns back to us and tells us, "I must be on my way to be with the sick, the stigmatized. Today, tomorrow, and the next I travel to Jerusalem, but my time for healing is not done yet." Jesus tells us, "You will not see me until the time comes when you say, 'Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord.'" And not to give too big of a spoiler, but we will say that on the day Jesus enters Jerusalem. but his time is not done yet. Jesus, who today, tomorrow, and the next speaks hope into your life as you travel with him, but his time is not done yet. And so imagine a bird shielding from attack with its wing. Imagine a baby hopping up and down as it cries. Imagine a chick scurrying away while being chased by a hen. How is God guarding, comforting, pursuing you? How have you sat with those who are stigmatized? How have you traveled with Jesus? See, that young teen about 12 years old, he walks into that clinic. He walks in because he got there. A trip he could not make on his own, that he could not afford on his own. He walks into that clinic by the help of the Batak Christian Church of Indonesia. He has a chance for healing through new technology and new medication and new treatment. The Batak Christian Church reaches out to people, specifically people suffering from HIV. This church provides financial assistance to families and offers transportation to clinics that the news tells us may soon have a cure to HIV/AIDS. Grace inspires true service to others. We are saved by grace alone, and Jesus tries to gather us in, but we run away. See, we are saved by grace alone, and Jesus calls out to us, but we ignore his voice. See, we are saved by grace alone. And Jesus travels towards those days when we will shout, "Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord," towards those days where he would lose his life that we might know life that offers true hope. And in this, all the people can say, Amen.